Tom Rinaldi has become the latest talent to leave ESPN for Fox. And that's a big addition for Fox Sports. But I think it also symbolizes a larger issue. And I want you to think about this for a long time, or a little time, or no time at all, at least as long as I'm talking about it. It used to be that if you were someone in my shoes, you dreamed of getting a job at ESPN, Fox, CBS, or NBC because that was the sign that you had made it, that you were a legitimate factor and a legitimate force in the industry. And it used to be that if you left ESPN, you had absolutely no hope of being able to be successful after leaving ESPN. In fact, they terrified everybody with the idea that ESPN was the asset and the talent were all interchangeable. And if you ever left, no one would ever care about you anymore. But think about how that storyline has changed. Dan Patrick left. He's thrived. Colin Cowherd left. He's thrived. Bill Simmons left. He's thrived. Skip Bayless left. He's thrived. Erin Andrews left. She's thrived. Dan Le Batard is going to leave. I think he's going to be fine. My point here in a larger context is ESPN doesn't make stars anymore. They've lost that ability to create homegrown stars. In fact, the people that they have tried to turn into stars have mostly fallen on their faces or stayed about as famous as they already were. The places where you can become wildly influential now are places like OutKick, Barstool, The Daily Wire, independent sites. Look at Joe Rogan. Independent sites that provide authenticity as opposed to top-down leadership. Not to say you can't be successful at big companies. You can. I do a television show with a big company. But most of my success is tied to OutKick, not tied to places where I am going outside of OutKick. The reason why they want me on radio is OutKick. The reason why they want me on television is OutKick. This is an important lesson about the empowering of the individual and the lack of power that larger entities now provide, at least in the world of sports. And it's also an instructive lesson for anybody out there. I get asked all the time, hey, I want to get into sports. What should I do? And my answer is always right. Right, right, right. Because it's the one talent that transcends all disciplines. If you can write, you might well be able to do radio. You might well be able to do television. There's a reason why people can go from writing to radio to television, because it's about organizing your thoughts and making arguments. There's a reason that very few people go television to radio to writing. Television is the easiest of the three mediums. It's cosmetic, it's theater in some ways, so it's a different skill set, but it's an easier skill set to master than radio, frankly, than what I'm doing right now on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. This is harder than much of television is because I got no script and I've got nobody helping me with anything. Same thing true of radio. No script, no safety net. And writing is even the hardest because it's just you sitting in front of a blank screen blinking at you, and you have to make sense of the world with nothing else there except your thoughts. So, don't be afraid of doing it on your own. And don't be afraid if the option to go to a big place isn't there. You don't need that legitimacy anymore. In fact, in many ways, it might detract from your ability to be your legitimate self because larger corporate structures are designed to try to, in many ways, snuff out individuality because it threatens the larger business structure. It's just an interesting thought I would like for you guys to contemplate. Forever out there, the idea was if you do anything different, if you leave ESPN, you'll have no success. There are a ton of people having way more success. Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Bill Simmons, soon to be Dan Le Batard, Erin Andrews. There are a lot of people who have left ESPN and been way more successful there than they were at ESPN. I think Tom Rinaldi is probably the next version of that.